What if I told you that one of the most famous philosophers in history left behind a secret playbook for acquiring power, and that for over a century, the world has been actively trying to stop you from reading it? They don't burn books anymore. It's too obvious. Instead, they sanitize them. They misinterpret them. They bury the dangerous ideas under a mountain of safe, academic jargon until the original fire is nothing but cold ash. In 1900, something unprecedented happened. A philosophy so dangerous that both fascists and academics felt compelled to destroy it, just for opposite reasons. First, his sister Elizabeth, who later embraced Nazi ideologies, electively edited and published his private notes to fuel an ideology of hate. She made his concept of the will to power synonymous with brute force and tyranny. Then, horrified by what they'd seen, universities spent the next 80 years sanitizing Friedrich Nietzsche into a harmless existentialist poet. They told you he was just a sad philosopher of personal suffering. They taught you about self-overcoming as gentle therapy for your feelings. Both were lies. One was a lie of malice, the other, a lie of cowardice. Every time someone tells you to just be positive, when you're facing real problems, they're using the sanitized version of Nietzsche against you. Every time you're told to follow your passion without building competence first, you're being fed the neutered interpretation that keeps you weak. The real Nietzsche, the one they buried, understood something far more dangerous. That personal power operates by specific laws. Laws so potent that they've been secretly adopted by the most powerful CEOs, artists, and innovators of the last century, while the rest of us are fed the safe version. Today, we pull back the curtain. We unearth the suppressed text. This is not the Nietzsche from your philosophy class. This is Nietzsche, the strategist, the psychologist, the architect of human potential. These are the 5 forbidden laws of power, and the first law is designed to completely rewire your understanding of control. The first and most violated law of power. From the moment we are born, we are taught to seek control over our environment. Control your toys, control your grades, control your employees, control your partner. Nietzsche calls this a profound mistake. It's a mistake because the person who cannot command their own soul will always seek to command others. Their attempt to control you is simply a projection of their own internal anarchy. This desperate grasp for control is the signature of the weak. The micromanaging boss who needs to approve every email doesn't feel powerful. He feels terrified of becoming irrelevant. The partner who checks your phone isn't acting from a place of strength, but from a crippling fear of abandonment. This desire to control others is a confession of your own inner chaos. It is the scream of a hollow soul. True power, the kind that shapes the world, is exclusively an inside job. It is the absolute, unshakable mastery of your own domain. Your mind, your body, your skills, your emotions. It is the power of the master craftsman whose hands obey his will perfectly. The power of the orator whose voice commands a room, not through volume, but through discipline and self-control. This power is not coercive, it is magnetic. When you have mastered yourself, you don't need to chase people. They gravitate towards you. Opportunities don't need to be forced. They present themselves. You become a center of gravity. Every time someone tries to control your behavior, ask yourself, are they trying to manage me because they've mastered themselves, or because they haven't? The answer will tell you everything about whether their advice is worth taking. Try this. For the next 24 hours, practice the discipline of non-control. Identify one person or situation you are trying to force into a certain outcome. Your coworker's project, your friend's opinion, your family's plans. Now, let go. Deliberately release your grip. Instead, redirect 100% of that mental energy inward. Ask yourself, what is the one thing I can do right now to improve my input, my skill, my state of mind? You are abdicating the throne of a petty tyrant to ascend to the throne of your own soul. This is the gateway to all other forms of power. If that law already shifted how you seek control, subscribe now. The next 4 laws get progressively more dangerous. And most people aren't psychologically ready for what's coming. If you're still here, you might be different. But mastering yourself is just the beginning. Once you've claimed your inner throne, you need to expand your domain. Here's where Nietzsche separates from every other philosopher. While the world builds an elaborate machine to eliminate resistance, frictionless delivery, effortless communication, comfortable lives, Nietzsche declares this quest for ease a death sentence for the human spirit. Notice how you avoid the difficult conversation, the challenging project, the skill that would actually advance your career. You've been programmed to see resistance as the enemy, when it's actually the forge where power is created. Modern neuroscience now proves what Nietzsche intuited. Your capabilities are muscles. They atrophied without resistance. Your will, your creativity, your courage, they required challenge to grow. If I asked you what power looks like, you might say $1 million in the bank or a C-suite title. Nietzsche would say you're looking at the shadow. not the substance. He defined power as the enhancement of an already existing capacity. This is critical. Power is not the prize. It is the process of becoming worthy of the prize. It is not the $1 million. It is the forging of skills, discipline, and resilience required to earn and keep $1 million. The money can vanish. The upgraded version of you is permanent. The world teaches you to chase outcomes, the job, the car, the house. Nietzsche commands you to chase the process, to build, to write, to master, to overcome. The person focused on the process will always end up with more than the person who just dreams of results. But here's the dangerous part. You must actively seek out the obstacles, the difficult client, the market crash, the unexpected betrayal, and the crushing self-doubt are not punishments. They are opportunities. They are the universe providing you with the exact weight you need to lift to become stronger. A weightlifter who only lifts comfortable weights will never grow stronger. His muscles will decay. Your spirit follows the same law. This week, you'll have a double mission. First, choose one skill you possess that is currently good enough. Public speaking, coding, negotiating, even listening. Now, devise a project whose sole purpose is to make that skill uncomfortable again. If you're a decent speaker, sign up for a high-stakes competition. If you're a competent coder, contribute to a project that's beyond your current abilities. Second, actively seek out resistance. Don't wait for it to find you. Volunteer for the project at work that everyone fears. Have the difficult conversation you've been avoiding for months. Sign up for a marathon, not a 5K. When you feel that friction, that fear, that desire to retreat lean into it, whisper to yourself, "This is my training ground. This is making me stronger." You are not just improving a skill, you are upgrading the weapon that is you. Once you've learned to seek challenge, you need to ensure you're fighting the right battles. Most people are living and dying for goals that are not their own. They are pursuing a script written by their parents, their teachers, and Madison Avenue. Their ambition is just a form of obedience. Nietzsche saw this as the ultimate spiritual slavery. To build real power, your life's aim must be forged in the fire of your own soul. Here's the brutal test that will expose whether your goal is truly yours. A goal worthy of a human being must pass for trials. First, it must be meaningful and challenging. It must stretch you to your absolute limits. If you can achieve it with your current capabilities, it's not a goal, it's a task. Second, it must promote health and well-being, either your own or that of others. It must build, not destroy. A goal that damages you or others is not power. It's self-destruction disguised as ambition. Third, it must be a path to personal excellence. The goal is the excuse. Mastery is the purpose. You're not just trying to get somewhere, you're trying to become someone. Fourth, and this is the killer, it must be autonomous. The goal must be a pure expression of your authentic, individual nature. If your goal is to get a promotion because that's what's expected, you are a slave. If your goal is to become the most innovative engineer in this company so I can build something the world has never seen, you are on the path to power. See the difference? One is about pleasing the system. The other is about imposing your will upon it. Write down your single most important goal in life. Now, be brutally honest and test it against Nietzsche's for trials. Does it genuinely challenge you, or is it just the next logical step? Is it making you stronger and healthier, or is it burning you out for someone else's profit? Is it forcing you to become excellent, or just competent? And the final, fatal question: if society's approval vanished tomorrow, would you still want this? If the answer to any of these is no, your goal is a cage. Your task is to either abandon it or reforge it, until it becomes a weapon in your hand. But having the right goal is only the beginning. The real test comes when you start winning. This is the most brutal and advanced law of power. It demands that you become your own greatest rival. What do most people do after a big win? They celebrate. They relax. They coast. For Nietzsche, this is the moment of greatest danger. The moment you rest on your achievements is the moment you begin to decay. He described the ideal life as a continuous cycle of victory leading to greater challenge. You overcome one obstacle, and what do you do next? You immediately seek out the next, more formidable one. The satisfaction of victory is fleeting a brief intoxication. The true, lasting power comes from being in the struggle itself, feeling your own capacities expanding in real time. But here's where it gets psychologically demanding. You must also be willing to destroy your own successes. Look at every tech mogul who's ever mattered. Jobs killed the iPod for the iPhone. Musk destroyed his own rocket designs dozens of times. Bezos abandoned his profitable bookstore model for something unprecedented. Meanwhile, most people can't even delete old photos from their phone because they represent who they used to be. Your greatest achievement is also your most beautiful prison. It defines you. It creates expectations. People want you to do that thing you did so well, over and over again. The ego loves this. It's safe. It's validating. The will to power demands you betray this safety. It demands you overcome not just your failures, but your successes. You must be willing to metaphorically burn down the temple you built in order to clear the ground for a cathedral. Look at the masters. David Bowie killed Ziggy Stardust at the height of his fame to become something new. Netflix abandoned their profitable DVD business to build streaming. Apple killed the iPod, their most successful product, to create the iPhone. They refused to become prisoners of their own creations. They chose power over popularity. This doesn't mean destroying good work for its own sake. It means being willing to evolve beyond what made you successful. When that success becomes a ceiling rather than a foundation, you have a two-part ritual to master. First, the next time you achieve something significant and close, a major deal, finish a big project, hit a personal best, you are forbidden from celebrating for more than 1 hour. Use that hour to feel the pride. Then, you must sit down and define the next objective. It must be related, and it must be harder. You are training your brain to associate victory not with rest, but with hunger for a greater challenge. Second, identify your single greatest professional or personal achievement, the one you're most proud of, the one you mention in interviews. Write it down. Now, write down 3 ways this very success is limiting you. Is it preventing you from taking new risks? Is it defining your identity too narrowly? Has it made you complacent? Your task is to devise a new project that directly competes with, or even contradicts, that past success. This is an act of creative self-destruction. You are proving to yourself that you are not your resume. You are not a museum of past glories. You are a living, breathing engine of creation. You are turning yourself into a perpetual motion machine of achievement. But what's the point of all this power? That leads us to the final law. Everything in our world is oriented around the pursuit of happiness. It is the ultimate goal, the promised land, the point of everything we do. Nietzsche saw this as a catastrophic error that would destroy the human spirit. He said, "Joy is not sought. Joy accompanies. Happiness is a byproduct. It is a symptom. It is the feeling that arises spontaneously when you are engaged in the act of overcoming resistance and increasing your power." He defined it perfectly. What is happiness? The feeling that power increases, that a resistance is overcome. To chase happiness directly is to guarantee you will never find it. It's like trying to grab your own shadow. But if you chase the development of your own power, if you live by the first 4 laws, happiness will attach itself to you like a shadow. It will be the echo of your victories, the warmth that follows a grueling workout, the deep satisfaction that comes from becoming who you were meant to be. This is the ultimate solution to the problem of suffering. Life is full of pain and resistance. You cannot escape it, but you can change your relationship to it. By making the increase of power your highest value, you transform suffering from a curse into raw material. Pain becomes informative. Resistance becomes valuable. Life's unavoidable. Hardships are no longer obstacles to your happiness. They are the fuel for your power, which in turn creates a deeper, more profound joy than mere comfort ever could. The person who chases happiness directly becomes a slave to circumstances. They need everything to go right to feel good. But the person who chases power becomes anti-fragile. They grow stronger from stress, more capable from challenge, more joyful from struggle. Nietzsche called this state the great health, an unshakable well-being that comes not from avoiding life's difficulties, but from developing the strength to transform them into stepping stones. Stop asking, "What will make me happy?" It is the wrong question, and it will lead you into a labyrinth of endless seeking. For the next month, ask only this: what will make me more capable? Orient every major decision around that question. The job offer, the relationship, the way you spend your weekend, does it increase your skills, your resilience, your self-mastery? Chase capability, not comfort. Build your power, and that profound, unshakable sense of well-being will find you. These 5 laws are not a path to an easy life. They are a path to a life of consequence. They are a declaration of war against mediocrity, against comfort, and against the quiet desperation that defines so much of modern existence. They have been suppressed and sanitized because they are dangerous. They are dangerous to any system that wants you to be a compliant, predictable consumer. They place the locus of control squarely back into your hands. You now possess the real Nietzsche, not the Nazi distortion, not the academic sanitization, but the actual blueprint for personal power. You can use this knowledge to dominate others through superiority, or you can use it for something far more revolutionary, becoming so internally powerful that you no longer need to control anyone else. They buried these ideas for a reason. Now you know why. The question is, will you stay buried with them, or will you use them to forge yourself into a force that reshapes the world around you? The choice is yours. The power always was. If you made it this far, you're already different from 90% of people. Subscribe to join the few who refuse to accept sanitized philosophy. There's more suppressed knowledge where this came from, and the algorithm doesn't want you to find it.